Everybody in your organisation probably wants to see different things. Now, traditionally, this has meant a proliferation of reports, all with slightly different views. But what if there were a way for users to quickly switch between different views, all inside a single report? Therefore, they only see the columns that they care about. Well, that's what we're looking at in this video. So if you're ready, let's get started. Here we have our example file, and if you want to work along with this video, then please click the links in the video description to download this file. Our example file has two tables. The first is called Jobs. This lists each of our employees and then information about those employees, such as their location, their number of tasks, the income they've brought in, and the last time they were active. Above that table, we have some cell values that tell us the type of information which is included in each column. So name is text, location is text, tasks is a number, income is a currency, and last active is a date. The second table is called Views. It contains the view number and the column name. For example, in view number 1, we want to see the name, the tasks, and the income columns. And we also have View 2, which contains a different set of columns, and View 3, which also has a different set of columns. In cell L4, we can select the number for the view that we want to see. And in cell K7, we're going to start building our report. I'll type equals, filter, opening bracket. The values that we want to return is the column from our views table. Then we want to filter those where the view column from our views table is equal to the value in cell L4. I'll close the bracket and I'll calculate. That now tells us that for view 1, the columns that we want to see are names, tasks, and income. This is currently coming out as a single column, but we want a single row. Let's edit our formula, and we're going to use toRow. For this scenario, we only need our required argument of array, so I'll close the bracket at the end and calculate. We now get our 3 columns across the top. If we change the view to view 2, we now have 4 columns across the top. Let's change that back to view number 1. At this point, you might be expecting us to use the filter function to get the values for our columns. However, filter only filters. It doesn't change the order of the columns. And in our views, the columns could be in any order or even duplicated. So we're going to use a different method using chooseCols and xmatch. We need to get the column numbers which correlate to our column headings. In cell K8, I'll type equals xmatch, opening bracket. The lookup values that we want are the values from K7 hash, and we want to look up from our column headings in our table. I'll close that bracket, I'll calculate, and as you can see, name is column 1, tasks is column 3, and income is column 4. These values are all returned from the single formula in cell K8. Let's now edit our formula so that it returns the values from those relevant columns. For that, we're going to use chooseCols, opening bracket. The array we want to use is our jobs table, and then we want to return the columns which were calculated by our xmatch. I can close the bracket at the end and calculate, and that now gives us those columns. If we change to view 2, we now get a different view, or view 3, once again we have a different view. The challenge here is not calculating the numbers. Instead, the challenge is formatting the numbers. For example, if we have view 2, you'll notice that last active is not displayed as a date. It's displayed as a date serial number. You'll also notice that for the columns of last active and income, the values are right aligned, but the headings are not right aligned. Therefore, we need to add some conditional formatting to apply this for us. Now, conditional formatting doesn't expand automatically with our array. Therefore, we have to select a range which is bigger than our output will occupy. I'll start in cell K8. We'll go across to column P and let's come down to row 20. Then from the home ribbon, I'll go to conditional formatting and new rule. And our rule is going to use a formula. The formula that we want to use is equals XLOOKUP, opening bracket. The values that we want to look up are, based on the names of our columns, we want to return our formatting name. So I'll select cell K7, that's our column name, and then I'll press F4 so that we lock in the row number but not the column letter. That's the value that we want to look up, and we want to look that up from the column headers from our table, and from that we want to return the corresponding range from our formatting cells. That means that for name it will return the value of text. For last active it will return the value of date, and that's what we want to format first. So we want to check where that value is equal to date. If it is equal to date, we then want to format that value so that it has a date data type, and I'll go with the default option. I'll then click OK, OK again, and now you can see that last active is formatted as a date. Let's do the same again for our currency. I'll go to conditional formatting, and this time we want manage rules. We're going to duplicate our existing rule, and now let's edit that rule. Rather than date, we want to check whether it equals currency. If it does, we want to change our format to a custom number format which displays hash, comma, hash, hash, 0. I'll click OK and OK again, and then OK. As you can see, our income now displays with a comma separator. Let's change our views. If we change to view 1, we now have income in the third column with the 1000 separator. If we change to view 2 and calculate, we now have column 4 with the 1000 separator and column 3 as a date. Now let's format our header. I will select the cells from K7 to P7, and we'll go to conditional formatting and new rule. Once again, we want to use a formula. Initially, we just want to format our header row so that it is bold and it has an underline. For the formula, we want to use equals not, opening bracket, is blank. Therefore, this formula will check whether the cells in that range contain values. If it does contain a value, we want it to format. If it doesn't contain a value, we don't want any format applied. I'll click on cell K7 and I'll press F4 so that we lock in the row but not the column. I'll then close both of those brackets, and now I'll click Format. The format that we want to apply is a bottom border, and we also want to apply a bold font. I'll then click OK and OK again. We just need one more format. I'll go to conditional formatting and new rule. This time, if the value in our column is not text, we want to right align our column heading. We need a formula once again, and for this we're going to use equals XLOOKUP. We want to check where our value in cell K7, again I'll press F4. We want to look that up from our column headers, and we want to return our formatting names. We want to check where that is not equal to text. We can now format these cells. Now, because these are headings, we know they will always contain text. Therefore, we'll go to our custom number format. Our format is going to be an asterisk. That means it will pad the start of our cell, and we want to pad that with a space. Then after that, we want to return our text value, which is an @ symbol. And that's it. I'll now click OK and OK again, and you'll notice that last active and income are now right aligned. So let's check our views. View 1, we have name, tasks and income. View 2, we have name, location, last active and income. And view 3, we just have name and tasks. So whichever view we select, not only do we select the right values, but we also format those values according to the type of value that they are. And that is how we can create different column views all inside a single report. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and get notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.